And welcome back, everyone, to another Celeste 20% race. We got blackpear versus Programmatic this time around. I'm Trev Athens, joining you for another race. And joining me to commentate this race, looks like we got Zojulix. Hi, Zojulix.
Hello, how are you doing, Troy?
I'm doing good.
Sweet.
So with this one, in the standings, we got Programmatic over at 264 points in 9th place. And we got... Who's the other person in this race? I literally just forgot what I just said. blackpear. Okay, at 318 in 7th place.
Alright, so this could very easily be a jump for Programmatic if he's able to take a win here tonight. So we are going to be now jumping into the race, ready to get started, just with a quick sync here, but from the restreamers, so always nice to see that happen so we can be as close as possible at the start of the race. Now again, as I'm not sure how much it was mentioned in the race beforehand, but as I mentioned in the first race, we are getting super close to the end of the regular season, and so it is crunch time to get as many points as possible in order to make it into playoffs. And I know both of these runners are playoff contenders, but it could still very easily be a potential for either of them to get knocked out. And Programmatic, and not really sure what happened there, but in the first 2 screens of City now, he has taken 2 deaths. So this is going to be giving blackpear a very early lead.
Yeah, it's certainly not anything too substantial. Of course, being chapter 1, like, it feels substantial, given how short the chapter is.
That it does. And especially on the first death, Programmatic just sat and watched himself descend to his death rather than just retry. So that does have him lose about another second there.
Right.
But either way, you know, we're just started out. We're still in the first 2 minutes of the race. So despite taking 2 deaths in City, Programmatic could still come out and win this race.
Yeah, very true. blackpear going to be getting a 101 on the IL, though. 132.5.
Yep. Very solid time. Going to be starting out with a 12-second lead for blackpear over Programmatic in the first race, in the first chapter. Programmatic looking a little confused by the way that first chapter went.
Yeah, hands in the air. Don't know what happened to video.
Might have had his game crash.
And that might have been further why his hands went in the air.
That would make more sense. A little confused for that, but oh, hey, he's back now. There we go. Probably did have his game crash or something as he's back at the main menu. Either way, we've got blackpear now making his way through Old Site, entering the battle and chase. And this is exactly something, well, having a game crash won't make too big of a deal for the race for both of these runners, but still, blackpear sitting in a pretty comfortable spot coming out of City.
Yeah, as long as it marked him finishing chapter 1. Oh, okay, it looks like, no, we're gonna... Programmatic might be requesting a restart here. This is pre-recorded, so interesting that we're seeing this here.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what's happening right now.
I'm sure we'll find out shortly as blackpear is ending out the chapter.
So yeah, it will be interesting to see as to what comes of this. Oh, looks like Programmatic's just jumping right in. So he's not going to start out with a 3-minute deficit, is he?
No, that's not how it works. It would just restart
No, I
the
didn't
race.
think so. I'm not really sure what's happening.
I mean, I don't think it's. I think it just starts from. I think blackpear just continued on while Programmatic started over again with his run.
All right, so I'm not sure if we're going to be looking for a sync from.
I mean, it's going to be a 3-minute pause on blackpear's side. If
It would be, but I also know that it's going to be really hard to tell who's where.
Yeah, it's very true.
So if a sync is possible, I know I would very much appreciate that, but again, that's all up to the discretion of Milo. So either way, blackpear making his way through resort, playing himself pretty well. Whoa, hello. Looks like we're getting a fast forward from the restreamer, being able to pick up where being a lot closer now. So it looks like even still blackpear is able to hold a lead. And as blackpear moves in to the huge mess, with Programmatic kind of tripping up a little bit there, but he is able to recover, doing a pretty good job there. And so now we've got blackpear moving in through the crate section of the huge mess. He's got a pretty decent lead here over Programmatic. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see how this all plays out. Got about one segment of the chapter ahead. So if you are blackpear, this is a very, very comfortable position for him to be in. Oh, both of them taking deaths on each side. Programmatic missing the drop down into the hole, and then I'm not quite sure what happened on blackpear's side, but he did himself die, which both of them died, so it's not really too much of a time difference between the two. Either way, still a very solid lead for blackpear.
Yeah, full section ahead in huge mess.
Now he moves into laundry as Programmatic is making his way through books.
Nice corner boost from blackpear.
Programmatic now making his way through laundry as blackpear is entering the elevator shaft here at 6 minutes and 16 seconds. And Programmatic overshooting on the corner boost a little bit and not able to get himself back down to the bottom platform, and ends up falling into the dust bunnies, taking a death. And cutting that dust bunny very close there, but is able to make the cycle, falling down and finishing up his laundry as he makes his way now to be entering the elevator shaft, looking like he's going to be getting a cutscene skip at 6:45.
But blackpear working through demo dash, managing to fail it once and having to do on the second try. Did go for the checkpoint though, so not losing too much time from it.
Alright, so that definitely will be an area for Programmatic to make up some time. And at the cutscene skip for elevator shaft, blackpear at about a 29-second lead. Programmatic now is making his way over to demo dash. He takes a checkpoint and he's got it first try, so he will be able to save a couple of seconds over blackpear through that first try.
Blackpear having a lot of Programmatic having trouble with that screen. But blackpear also having trouble with one of the Yoshiro screens.
Both of them taking
a lot of
keys.
Yeah, he was missing the keys multiple times in that screen. But now both of them in Yoshiro section now. Blackpear working on the final screen of the chapter.
Blackpear making his way through the final screen. Definitely with a 7:51 on the file timer. Still got a very comfortable lead over Programmatic here. And oh no, Programmatic missing the corner as he falls down and he ends up landing into the dust bunny. That's definitely not a death you expect to see. So even still, we're seeing a
bit early
missing,
on that wave dash input.
and dashing straight into the dust bunnies. We've been seeing a lot of that from Programmatic. Not sure if he's getting a little bit nervous or what exactly is going on, but he's got about a 40-second deficit. Just under 40-second deficit over blackpear in this race. Blackpear's got himself a really comfortable lead going through Ridge already. Blackpear now completing the Archie, making his way through one of the more difficult chapters, especially with some of these newer strats that have been implemented recently.
Blackpear not going to be going for it, just taking the Ultra.
Yep, taking the Ultra, playing it a little bit safer. Definitely a respectable move there.
Yeah, the boxless strategy is very difficult. Using a strategy that is very basically frame perfect. I'm not sure exactly how many frames it is, but it's pretty tight.
Yep, very, very tight tricks. Coming through both of the a lot of the strats that you see these top runners take are virtually frame or pixel perfect because they get so used to all the different strats and they just get really clean. Programmatic just going for the Ultra himself. Blackpear now going for the Ultra coinless strat, and he's got it. Very well done from him. Oh, Programmatic taking a death. As now blackpear is entering the cliff face, and ooh, Programmatic missing the dash there on the missing the bubble, ending up falling to his death from that. And oh, Programmatic kind of struggling on these blocks. I'm not sure what he's going for.
You can go. Yeah, you can land on top of that block actually with that cloud now.
Oh,
instead of
okay.
on the side.
Does that save time over the original strat, or is it not any different?
It's about the same timing. It's about the same time as the strategy of skipping one of the blocks by using the directional block, the first one.
Okay.
Which was the previous fastest strat in that room.
Okay.
Now with that one being about the same.
Yep.
And arguably a bit easier. So.
All right.
Just having to do the timing with the cloud.
Yeah.
And Programmatic not pulling that off though, so.
Yeah, really struggling there. Blackpear wrapping up his Golden Ridge at 10:29. Got himself a very significant lead going into Chapter 5. This is definitely what you want to see if you are Blackpear. And if you're... Oh, Programmatic taking a retry there. I'm not sure if I personally would justify that retry. But he jumped off the wall in a way that he didn't want to and decided that rather than just try and back it up, he'd just take the retry, reset it, and hopefully not lose as much time.
Was that at the start of the screen? I wasn't really looking too far.
Yeah, it was at the start of the screen.
Yeah, that makes some sense given the fact that he was probably just... It was probably due to snowball cycles. He just didn't want to work with anything going on there. He just wanted to... He'd rather work with a screen that he's work with a pattern that he's familiar with than whatever mess he would have had to deal with from the little mess up there. The most likely reasoning.
Okay, yep, that can be understandable. But now, still, Blackpear's got himself a really nice lead. If you are Programmatic, you need to hope for quite a few Bubs drop fails in order to try and get yourself back into this race. 11:46 on the file timer as he exits Chapter 5, and Programmatic isn't even in the cassette room. Hasn't even hit Depp's corner boost, and he's hitting 12 minutes.
getting going for the button warp, but he's gonna end up inside the button, taking the death. So yeah, I don't believe it's a soft lock anymore. I think it just kills you if you get in that area, because it didn't look like you retried. Like a soft lock would have been, you're in that area for a little bit and it would, and then you'd be forced to retry because you're just in the floor. But it just kills you.
blackpear, he misses his first attempt at Bub's drop. That could be a potential opening for Programmatic there. blackpear is now going for his second attempt at Bub's drop. And he takes a death before he's even able to get his... and he dies again. blackpear's not even able to get set up for his second attempt at Bub's drop because he is just not able to make it over. blackpear now, he's saved and quit. I think he's just trying to take a mental reset, maybe?
Yeah. That does make some sense here. It's the same difference anyway, because he will... restarting simply just puts you... you just, end up back at... you just end up back at the beginning of the screen there, so...
Alright.
Not really changing anything.
Now going back forward, and he's got it!
Okay. Taking that second to
He's got it on his first try. Programmatic just opened up a ton of time. It is now only about 30 seconds behind. Which is a huge amount of time that he was able to gain versus being how far down he was before.
Absolutely. But now working through the rest of 5B is not going to be any easy feat. It's hard to say if Programmatic is even going to be able to make up this 30 seconds in this area.
And
taking a death in this long room before the mirror. That's a costly death.
That is a very costly death. Programmatic is still going to be sitting at about 40, just under 40 seconds behind at this point. I'm pretty sure we'll be able to tell better once blackpear wraps up his 5B and Programmatic comes in right behind him.
Especially because of how difficult a lot of these screens can be for people.
Yeah, these screens can definitely be very, very challenging.
Okay, blackpear dealing with the gauntlet.
Alright, okay, kind of getting a little choked up there, but he's able to adapt. Okay, he gets blasted back by the Seeker and isn't able to grab Theo. Programmatic having to take a death in the gauntlet himself. blackpear now wrapping up his 5B at 14:56. Programmatic in the impossible room.
Not getting the entrance cycle, but gonna wait it out for what was comfortable for him. Getting 15:42, so just about a 50-second difference. Really more like 45.
About 44-second difference in blackpear's favor. blackpear now going up on Lake Skip, and he's got it first try. So now definitely looking forward, Programmatic is going to have to clean some things up. We are in week 8 of 11, so there is not much time left at all for you to have bad races. If you want these playoffs, you need to be able to just clean stuff up. Programmatic able to get Lake Skip on his first try. And blackpear overshooting the Ultra a little bit and ends up dying while in the feather.
Yeah, just had way too much speed and just fell right into the floor with the feather.
So definitely, that's one of those things that can be pretty... that's where sometimes having no momentum cap in Celeste can be difficult to manage, because if you're going and taking a death, if you're going too fast, you can just find yourself flinging right into the abyss that is the bottoms of some of these screens.
Yeah, managing to control Madeline correctly with all the speed that we gain throughout the game is definitely a skill.
And speaking of controlling Madeline correctly, blackpear had an excellent weave with the feather to avoid the bumper in the couple screens back. That was actually really impressive to see that. So now blackpear coming up on the dev intended skips in just a little bit here.
Programmatic going with bottom route on the bumper choices.
Alright, blackpear able to get 2 of the dev intended skips, and he falls and dies on the third, and he didn't take the checkpoint, so that is going to be quite a few seconds that he's going to be losing there, as he now ends up going swimming now after finishing up these dev intended skips.
And Programmatic going for that checkpoint for the dev intended skip as blackpear pulls off the battle and boost. Okay, Programmatic gonna be doing their battle and boost now.
Very well done from him. As now blackpear both runners are now in their battle and fight. Blackpear still holding a really, really solid lead over Programmatic. Definitely something that, not really sure where some of Programmatic's early game hiccups came in, other than the fact that his game crashed and he had to restart his run. So, definitely something that I wish we could highlight, but we're not able to do that due to just the situation of the run. That is fine. Both of these runners having pretty decent battling fights, no major hiccups or mistakes that are happening right now. So just so you guys know, coming up in a little bit, we do have, coming up later tonight, we have more matches for Celeste. Our next match will be Flare Bear versus Marlin, so you guys are definitely going to want to be checking that one out. Coming up right after this, and again, like I've said, we're on the 8th week out of 11, so you guys are going to want to be staying tuned to the stream here. As we get closer to playoffs, as you'll be seeing the top 8 runners will be competing and being knocked down into the final 4, and then we are into semifinals and finals. And again, we've got, all the leagues getting ready to wrap up. And if you would like to see where the standings are at in the league, in any of the leagues right now, go ahead. I'm going to plug in !standings in the chat, so you guys can see all of the standings for the leagues, and you can see just kind of where each and every one of the runners fall and where positions could potentially shift going into playoffs.
Yeah, blackpear now doing the final battle in screen. Programmatic on second to last. Not second to last, I mixed up. Wait, yeah, it is.
Yeah, he's on the second to last. Alright, definitely want to be paying attention to the file timer as we go to finish up Reflection here. 20:55 for blackpear. So already seeing about over a 30-second lead for blackpear going into summit. So it's definitely a really comfortable position for him to be in. He's now hitting that alley-oop. He's going to be moving up with a 21:35. Oh, 21:36. So we're seeing about a 35-second lead, maybe a little bit more than that, for blackpear going into the summit.
Just about, and so with the movement, the movement in summit is going to be very important. 30 seconds definitely is small enough where it could be shifted. Not likely, but it's still possible.
Yeah, definitely not wanting to count anything out as we move through summit. blackpear finishing up his 0 meters, moving on to 500, revisiting the zipper mechanic from chapter 1. And just seeing the way that these runners now move, having the added power from joining forces with Battlein.
Yeah, having our 2 dashes now.
blackpear moving through 1,000 meters.
Yeah, gonna be working to get those dream hikers as much as they can. Programmatic can be finishing out 500 now. Having to take a bit of a slower route with that screen, not getting one of the zippers to cooperate properly.
blackpear now wrapping up his 1,000 meters with a 23:08 on the cutscene skip. Again, blackpear is putting up a really, really good race time for himself. Definitely a really good confidence boost for him going into playoffs. Or getting ready for playoffs. Going into these last few weeks. And oh no! Programmatic missing the Dream Hyper and ultra dashing down into his death. You hate to see it, but those Dream Hyper timing can be so finicky.
Almost a minute difference now as blackpear is finishing out 1,500 as Programmatic just entered it. Doing one of the demo dashes, well done there. But doesn't have any dashes here, gonna be able to save that.
This is definitely the kind of race you want to have if you are blackpear. Being able to just come through and play so well.
Yeah, it's certainly going to be helping him out with the standings. This is very much going to keep him in the top 8 and help him out tremendously with this.
It's going to be keeping him in the runnings for playoffs, whereas Programmatic is going to be really struggling at this point. Looking at his matches coming up next week, he's going up against Marlin and Psyched are his next 2 matches. And so if he is going to be making it out of playoffs, or making it into playoffs, he's going to have to hope for some really good weeks, because both Psyched and Marlin are going to be very tough opponents.
now finishing out 2,000 meters.
Oh,
Yeah, Programmatic going for the auto-scroller skip and just not pulling off the extended hyper here correctly. Getting it on the second try. Oh, blackpear having a bit of trouble with the first screen in 2500.
Now blackpear making his way through, coming up onto key skip, and able to get it very cleanly, very fast. Fairly expected there. Don't see too many hiccups on that now.
Yeah, key skip is a fairly consistent strategy, fairly consistent trick, so it's not really seeing too many.
Blackpear able to thread the needle, and he's got one door skipped, and he's got two doors skipped. Very well done from Blackpear, able to skip those doors and thread that needle to enter into the last screen of 2,500 meters. So now he finishes up right there. And so now we have Blackpear into the downdraft section, kind of getting a little bit of a hiccup there on that flag, but he is able to recover it pretty nicely, just deciding to just drop, regain his dash, and keep going.
Alright, Programmatic through the door skip, now working at that final 2,500 meter room.
This race is again just Blackpear has just ran away with this race, and it looks like he is going to be, unless there's some sort of miracle that happens, this race is Blackpear's.
Yeah, that is looking to be the case, as we are seeing Blackpear working on the updraft section as Programmatic has just entered flag 30. Updraft section can be pretty punishing. While I don't expect a lead change, it's still a very difficult area and could lose a good amount of time for Blackpear. And so points are always important here. So
looking at flag 13. Oh, Programmatic taking a death in the downdraft.
Yeah, points very important still. So even with this being a almost definite win for Blackpear, you gotta be paying attention to those points to see how many Programmatic is gonna be able to steal away from Blackpear.
Definitely, and especially when you're at a crunch point like this, for playoffs, any point matters because some of these standings can change. Oh, Blackpear kind of almost missing the flag there, but is able to neutral wall bounce his way up and be able to keep himself alive. That almost ended up being a huge time loss for him, but he was able to recover it very well. Excellent to see that happen from him. And oh no! Blackpear overshooting the block there and ends up dashing into the spikes.
Yeah, now just 3 more flags for Blackpear to deal with. Looking to be getting a sub 30 here.
Alright, he's definitely going to be having that happen for him unless something major happens, but Programmatic finishing up his flag 13, making it able to make it to flag 11. But Blackpear is now going to be wrapping himself up with a 29:26. Excellent time for him for a race time. Programmatic trying to do what he can, probably hitting up flag 7 right now, potentially looking at maybe a high 30 to a low 31.
Seems about right, given that the final 5 flags take about 50 seconds.
Yep. We'll be seeing how Programmatic is going to be playing this out. So trying to snag as many points as he possibly can.
Okay, Programmatic gonna be finishing it out, working on flag number 2.
And now he hits flag 1. So by the looks of things, we're going to be seeing a 34x from Programmatic. Oh, kind of flubbing a little bit there, but is able to recover pretty well and is able to be finishing it off with a 30-46. Well done from him.
Yeah, so about a minute 20 difference.
So still able to snag some points there for Programmatic. Excellent job from him just to be able to clean that up in the end game. So one thing that I would kind of want to point out here is, despite there being a minute and 20-second difference between the two runners, there was only about 6 deaths. So, and if you go back and look at Programmatic, he definitely had a couple of more punishing deaths in the race, and that definitely can be could easily be what causes you to win or lose a race, having some punishing deaths.
Yeah, death count isn't always the greatest indicator of how much time they lose, given that a death at the beginning of the screen is different from a death at the end of the screen. But with that, we are going to be finishing it out here. This being pre-recorded, of course, we're going to have no interviews, but we are going to have more races for you to see. Next up, we got Flare Bear versus Marlin, and that's coming up in about 7 minutes.
Yep. So you guys will definitely be wanting to stick around for that. And with that, we'll go ahead and toss that over to intermission, and we will see you guys then.